Guys, welcome back to FrightFest and welcome to FrightFest Glasgow.
Good. Tired, but excited to be here.
Explain your history with us, with FrightFest. Tell us about the first short film, etc.
So FrightFest is the first festival that ever played anything of ours in a big venue or anything like that, and it was a short called Bad Moon Rising that a few people saw and enjoyed, and Adam Green sent over to you guys, and you guys dug it and decided to play it in front of Chillerama, and we came here and absolutely loved it. Well, the FrightFest in London, and it was awesome. So we immediately went and got the funds together to try and make a feature so that we could play a festival circuit like with a true movie.
So how did that short then take you on the journey to the first feature?
I just went home and wrote the script and tried to get the money together. And it was such a low budget. It was 50 grand, so it was very easy to. Not very easy, but it was easier than usual to kind of pull all the money together. And we were literally shooting like 6 or 7 months after FrightFest.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the low budget, it was kind of a slow process to get it, in full shape. But we eventually did. But, that gave us the kick in the ass to step up our game, I guess.
And tell us a little bit about the film. Give us a little brief synopsis.
It is like Fire in the Sky meets The Terminator meets Extra, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's an alien abduction splatter movie, and it opens up with the alien abduction as opposed to building to it, and then from there, it just escalates into ridiculousness.
And I know you're a little bit tired, aren't you? 'Cause it's been a
Super
long day.
Yeah.
So tell us about your role in this particular piece.
Well, I essentially I just play the Terminator.
Right.
I play like a very white, slimy, bald Terminator.
And you get naked as well.
I do. I have to fight for my clothes.
Did you have that built into the script that you wanted to appear fully?
No. He actually sprung that on me after.
I demanded it.
I didn't know I was going to be Mark. I thought it was going to be like somebody else just pop up here and there for like a couple of words. And he's like, no, you have to play Mark, and you have to be completely nude.
And the film's a very beautiful kind of pastiche throwback to the 80s, 90s stuff. Obviously, that's what you guys grew up on. Was there any particular influences, film-wise, that you took to this first project?
There was a lot. It was, I've been thinking about making my first movie for like 15 years, so it's just everything that's been building in my mind since then. I kind of just exploded into this kitchen sink.
Everything after this will probably be a lot more focused.
I just wanted to make sure I got everything in there in case there wasn't another chance to make a movie. So there's Maniac, there's Halloween, there's The Thing, there's Fire in the Sky, there's The Terminator, Extra.
Like inside high tension Halloween, like everything we ever loved.
Greatest hits album.
Let's take this.
And the film's played quite widely already, isn't it? You premiered at Midnight Madness in Toronto last year. Then you did Sitges.
We did Fantastic Fest.
Fantastic Fest, of course.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the reception been in all those different festivals for you guys?
It's been good. It seems that the movie plays a lot better with the crowd. As opposed to watching it like on Vimeo or on iTunes or on a DVD screener. So I noticed that people who watch it with a crowd seem to kind of enjoy it a little bit more and get into it a little bit more. It's a movie that's meant to be seen with a bunch of people.
Sure.
So I think the reception of festivals has been a lot better than mainstream reviews, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what we built it for. We built it for horror fans to watch in packed rooms together, as opposed to a 60-year-old reviewer for the New York Times or whatever. So the people who I made the movie for, the reception's been good by them, and that's really all we wanted.
So tell us about Sitges. You broke your back in Sitges, didn't you?
Yeah, this was a very back-breaking tour. I fell off a cliff and broke my back, but still went on and enjoyed Sitges to the fullest.
So was it Alan chasing you on one of the male nude beaches that did this?
Yes.
Okay. And this was about 3 a.m, yeah?
Yeah.
There might have been some alcohol. Why didn't you save him? Why didn't you leap in and
I was back in LA. I was cutting. Okay.
Right.
I had to work. So I couldn't afford to go.
Because you'd have fit right in with the nude beaches in Sitges.
That's what everyone told me. Ben Willie was like, "Oh, they fall in love, big hairy guys. In Spain, you should go." I was like, "I don't know."
From experience, Ben.
As he whips his hair back, yeah.
And the film's coming out from Metrodome in the UK later on in the year.
I think it's pretty soon. I'm not sure of an exact date yet, though.
Mm-hmm.
Early summer, maybe.
Yep.
But yeah, not exact date yet.
And what's the deal stateside? What's happening?
It just came out last week on VOD and theatrically. Like it's playing limited in the top 10 markets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it came out simultaneously on DVD, Xbox, PS3. So if you want to watch it, pretty easy to obtain.
Mm-hmm. And what's next for you guys? What's taking individually?
Well, whatever I do, he's gonna work out with me anyway. So, I wrote a movie called The Mind's Eye. That's like a telekinetic revenge movie. It's like Scanners meets Death Wish, an NC-17 telekinesis revenge movie. It's like my ultimate dream to make that. Not my ultimate dream, but it's my ultimate second project that I'd love to do. So, trying to find money for that now, and hopefully getting on the camera soon with a little bit more money. An actual something that costs more than a new car, and
a little bit more of a schedule, some real time to milk it,
And is that what you're going to focus on as well? Yeah.
I've done probably 3 or 4 other films since we finished this.
Right. Which ones? Take us through those.
I cut Paul Solit's newest film, Dark Summer.
Yes.
Worked with Adam Green on Digging Up the Marrow.
Yep.
Also was in that as well. Did Eric England's film Contracted, which also sold IFC.
Yes.
And played at FrightFest.
Yeah.
And as of this point, we're just trying to push really hard to get Joe back on set. So unless something comes up that's like a 6 to 8 week job, I think we'll probably just lock down and get him on set again. That's where the real magic is.
There's 2 guys with beards. You with the black beard go first.
What was it like to lie naked on some
That's not so bad a question.
That is. It was very cold. It was actually, I'm not sure what the conversion is, but it was about like 10 degrees Fahrenheit that day.
So it's like 1 degree Celsius.
Yeah.
So you shriveled up into a small.
Oh, I didn't even have. Yeah.
Actually, no. It went up into 7 Celsius.
Yeah.
That's 32.
It was. And it had rained the night before, so there was this great sheet of ice underneath the entire forest, and then everybody on set was somebody I went to high school with. So our other producer, the guy that helped us set it up in Rhode Island, tried to set up craft service about 5 feet from where I had to lay naked all day.
The entire time, Josh is like, I hope you guys know it's really cold out. Yeah, we know, Josh. Calm down. I wanted him to do the poster just because I knew there's no name actors in the movie, no name talent behind the camera. It's such a fucking ridiculously low budget movie. So I wanted, right from the get-go, it to be something that you saw the poster and that immediately drew you into the film. Like, what the fuck is this? So I wanted it to be hand painted, and I love the Tom Hodges, the dude designs his artwork. So I literally just cold emailed him off this site when we first started editing, and we sent him like a 2-minute promo, and he was like, I'd love to do it, I can't do it for another 4 months. And it's like, well, great, we just started editing, so that's perfect. And it literally just worked out. He had an open spot, and I sold all my camera equipment to pay him, and we got the poster done. We did the sound design in our apartment, and like we live in a fucking huge apartment complex with walls like the size of cardboard. So we would be sound designing until 5 a.m. every night with the fucking speakers blasted.
Bass and sound and music.
Our neighbors were not happy. Yeah, some of it was definitely intentional just because I fucking love so many Carpenter's movies. And then some of it actually comes across where it's just like, I just directed the movie and it came across like that just because I've been such a fan of his. I mean, the opening credits is just something where it's like whenever we make a movie, we're going to do the Carpenter font. And then Neil Marshall started doing it, like, fuck it, we're still going to do it. It's just something that we wanted to just have. Because I feel like your credits are something that puts you in the mood of the movie. So I just, doing credits in Final Cut, doing credits on the computer, you're such limited to make it look good. And which is like, let's fuck it, let's just go with the Albertus font, we'll do the Carpenter font this one time, and why not? We'll get it off our chest. The most challenging thing about the movie, besides the funding, was the filming conditions, just because it was so cold. The equipment would freeze up, the equipment would fail, the effects would, like, when we covered him in slime or built with slime, it would fucking freeze like a glazed donut in like 10 seconds. So it was unbelievably impossible, and then if we had to redo an effect, it would be impossible to get it off the people just because it froze immediately. So the harsh conditions were probably the biggest challenge in doing the movie. Well, the number one reason I said it in the 80s was because I think technology is absolutely ruining horror movies. There's no more creepy libraries where people look up information. There's no more, cell phones ruin everything. So it's like, I use the example, if Pet Sematary was now and fucking Louis Creed would go on Google and look at the history of his house, it would ruin the fucking movie. So And the town that we shot in, that we grew up in, is frozen in time, so it was pretty easy to just set it in the 80s.
It literally still looks like that. So.
Yeah, we didn't really have any production designs. That's just what it looks like. It took 18 days to shoot. We shot 3 6-day weeks. And the slime was actually this stuff called super slime, which is what they used on Alien and Aliens. And our effects artist showed up the first day with the slime, and it looked clear. It wouldn't even show up on camera. So I'm like, look, it's going to look more gooey. Like, just fucking make it look like Alien. So then he adds a bunch of milk to it, and it looks like cum. But he did it to all 20 gallons of it, so we couldn't afford to buy any more. So that's kind of just what it looked like. You know, I wanted to show more, but I wanted to do it in a flashback sense, like it is in there, black and white. I have like a fetish for really grainy, Super 8, 16 millimeter black and white stuff. And that stuff we actually did not shoot until 3 months after production. We were temping in the fire in the sky scene, and we'd put it in black and white, and everybody would show the assembly cut to. It was like, wow, that abduction stuff looks great. And it's like, well, it's from Fire in the Sky. So we actually just laid Josh on our dinner table and shot it in my apartment with Josh laying at the dinner table.
Yeah, that's just a bunch of trash bags hanging in a room.
So I mean, I would like to do more with it, but I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out based on the conditions that we had shooting it. The effects artist really fucked that up, so I thought it was going to look like shit, but Josh saved it, so I let him go with that.
We had to make a mold, and what happened was it was actually pure rubber. So Joe was actually the one that dropped the rock on it, and the first time we dropped the rock on it, it almost fucking bounced up and hit the face. And the face was there, it was completely fine, and it took us on one of our last days in Rhode Island, because we went back to LA to edit, we took it and went into a parking lot and just smashed that head for an hour with a camera. And we actually ended up using the first take because what we did was we shot her screaming, and then there's only 3 frames where Graham's arm gets comped in, and then it just cuts to the fake head, and it just cut right off of it.
We literally dropped the rock on it and it bounced off, and I'm like, our effects guy's Rob Fitz, and I'm like, what the fuck, Rob? He's like, oh, well, I didn't know you wanted it to crush. I'm like, did you read the fucking script, dude? What the fuck would a rock bounce off of a head in what situation?
So we just amped up the sound as much as we could and milked every last frame that we had, and then said, fuck it, we'll just hit her twice. So.
You know, I guess if my next movie does completely fucking horrible, I'll go back to a sequel. And if I did, it would basically be Graham waking up in a morgue, or Seth waking up in a morgue with the creature inside of him. He shoots up in the morgue, and he infects all the bodies in the morgue, and it turns into an Alien-style giant fucking cocoon. So it's like Halloween 2 meets Aliens, I guess. So, I don't know, maybe.
Almost 2.
I wish them so much luck with this film and the future. These guys are the future of horror.
I don't know about that.
Well, let's hope, unless you let us down.
No pressure.
You know what I mean?